What's up, everybody? We are back with episode 3 of Schoolin. Thank you all of you who tuned into the first 2 episodes of Schoolin. We did the first episode on GI Jane, who I think I'm in love with now, and the second episode on Beast. And we just love all of the love and support that you guys have given us. Like, especially shout out to the group chat. Literally
Yes.
nothing but rave reviews on our schooling episodes and series, and it's really fun. I actually love watching. Wow, I see why you. I love the names. The names are different. I love
Very
how they
much.
all are independent. They all stand on their own. They have their own individuality. And we just have a really another fun, dope episode today of wow. But before we get into that, I mean of schooling, but before we get into that, how you been?
I've been good. It's a lot of good wrestling out there right now. So I've been busy,
Yeah,
busy, busy. But there's been so much good wrestling from Money in the Bank, Dominion over in New Japan. TNA is turning up. Uh, AEW is about to run their two biggest shows in a few weeks, and they just came off of Forbidden Door. Too much wrestling. Not it is never enough, but it's a
it's
lot.
never enough, but it's too much. It's
Yeah.
never enough, but it's too much. We was actually talking about this. So P and I were at BlurredCon a few weeks back, and we were on the panel. One of the questions was, "Do you think that is too much wrestling?" And I'm like, yes, but at the same time, too much wrestling gives you an option to pick and choose from what you want to watch, from what you don't want to watch, from what you don't want to be a part of. Because before growing up, all we had was WCW and WWE. There was only two streams of wrestling. Like we really didn't know what New Japan was. We really didn't know. I really didn't watch ECW, so it was like a figment of my imagination. Um, but now we have all of these different promotions and different divisions, and it's just like, yes, it's a lot, but no, it's not too much because we can never get enough. We can never get enough wrestling.
Yeah, it's just super accessible now, and that's the thing that I like about it is like everything is accessible. And I think having the ability to pick and choose what you want to watch versus what you don't want to watch is the great thing. And I think it actually convinces more people to try more things when there is so many like easily accessible options.
That is definitely true. And I just love it. And I want to give a quick shout out to my boo Nikki Bushi over at Women's Wrestling Talk. She definitely just interviewed Trinity and Deanna Parasso right before
Ooh,
their match. She interviewed them before their match at Slammiversary. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Nikki because I love her. She's literally like the life of the party. And I'm so proud of what she's done. Like she's graduated from a HBCU. She's doing big things out here in this wrestling world, in this wrestling game. So Nikki, I love you, girl. Love you, girl.
shout out.
Shout out. So you want to get into who we talk about today?
Absolutely. So this is like a little bit what I like to call special because we're actually going to go into like our first faction, the one
Mm-hmm.
real faction of WoW. And it all starts with this woman named Lana Starr, the fabulous Lana Starr, and she's a manager. But she decided to put together the Fabulous Four, which is a bunch of different women in the division that comprise a tag team and two singles competitors. And she's the manager for all of them, and they all wear pink at all times. So the
Love
first
a king.
people we're talking about is the tag team from my home, Miami Sweet Heat, who are two of the funniest, charismatic people on the roster, and they're twins, the Carolson twins,
Look
Lindsay
at
and
them.
Lori.
Look at them.
Lindsay and Lori, they literally look like walking billboards for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But the twins, Lindsay and Lori, they are Miami Sweet Heat, and they are part of the Fabulous Four in WoW right now. And they're just great. They just had this banger of a match with the Tonga twins that ended in some shenanigans. They are the top heels in in the company in this faction, like the top heel faction. It reminds me so much of Evolution, honestly.
Ooh, I like that. Well, I actually stayed up, and I was telling you this earlier that I actually stayed up to watch WoW.
Mm.
And Miami Sweet Heat had a match against Big Rig.
Is it the Mother Truckers?
Yes, the Mother
Mother
Trucker,
Truckers?
the mother daughter duo. Um, and of course, they ended up losing. Like Sweet Heat lost to the Mother Truckers, and I'm just like, oh my gosh! But their promo skills, like I just love their promo skills because it gives Mean Girl, but it gives Miami Mean Girl.
Yeah, it's like Subtle, but not really, but also
Right.
just like very snobby and like I'm better than you, I'm richer than you, and I'm from Florida, so what's up?
Right. They said you're from. They told them it's like, yeah, you drive pickup trucks. We drive Ferraris. Like we're not the same level. And I'm just like, no. She said Lamborghinis, and I'm just like, yep, they do be driving Lamborghinis like it's Hondas out there. I've been to Miami plenty of times to know to see.
Yeah, it's like
Absolutely,
seeing a Honda Accord out here is seeing a Lamborghini
it's
here.
a Lambo. Oh, that's another one. It's a regular one.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
regular car.
exactly. It's like a normal. It's like, what color is yours? That's how it feels.
Right. Mine's is whatever color it is at the dealership.
Right, it's still there. It's waiting to
Still
be picked
there.
up.
Still
It's
waiting.
waiting to be. They're great though. Like I think as a tag team, they've got some work to do for sure, but they're solid personalities. And I even have this theory that WWE is trying to find their own version of them. And I think they already signed them. The Cavender twins that they signed
Ooh.
recently, they signed an NIL deal with WWE. And WWE is looking to like develop them once they're done with basketball. They play at a University of Miami,
Hmm.
and so I definitely think WWE picked up on what the Carlson twins were doing and was like, we should get a little version of that
We should
because
get
they've
more
had
twins because we don't have the Bellas anymore.
right. So they've had women twins in the past. They've got the Usos now. So it's just like, ooh, let's figure this out again. And the Cavender twins, like they're probably the most popular girls in college basketball right now, other than Angel Reese and Flauge from LSU. So smart move,
Smart
smart
move.
move.
Now let's just see
Um,
if they're going to use them properly.
I
It's always
mean,
that. It's always that. It's
yeah.
always that. What if? Like, oh my God, you just signed the hottest of whoever, and then you get so hyped, and then all of a sudden that hype dwindles down because you literally shitted on them.
It's also, let's see how well uh it will translate from basketball to wrestling, because I think I only know this because I played basketball in college, is you're supposed to put on muscle, but you can't put on too much muscle because then you might as well throw a football. You're gonna be too strong. So for them to now be in a position where once they're done with basketball, they're gonna have to pack on a pretty significant amount of muscle. I'm curious to how that's going to affect the way they move because they're pretty agile now. I'm very curious about how the Cavender twins are going to play out booking wise and just packing on the muscle and how they're going to rebuild their physiques because it's very different wrestling from basketball. Very, very different.
Very, very different. I would love to see it though. I love to see how people come from other sports. Like we've seen these wrestlers, especially the men, come from football because it's more of a
Hmm.
combat, hands-on sport. But now you have people coming from basketball, gymnastics, weightlifting. It's
Yep.
just so refreshing to see like all these other people are coming back from different sports that you would have never expected them to come back or come to. Like you would never expect them to cross over. Like we've seen it in the past for like Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman and Shaq,
Yeah,
whatever. But to actually pursue an actual career in that from a different sport, I like the transition a lot.
I do. And I think that, like, especially, I don't think Miami Sweet Heat played sports before. I think they were actually like Instagram models before becoming wrestlers, which is even funnier to me.
It's
They
hilarious.
definitely look like some Instagram models. I'm sure they've been in Dr. Miami's office a few times. Uh,
I would have never thought they were really twins until you said that.
I would have never thought they were twins. I would have never thought they were wrestlers because look at, they don't like the closest comparison I could make to them is Dana Brooke.
Yep,
That is the
especially the
closest.
blonde one.
Yeah, I'm like Dana Brooke would fit in perfectly with these girls, and Dana Brooke wears pink like all the time, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like she would have fit in perfect. But that's the only like comparison I could even see is with them is the Dana Brooke type thing. But with them, I really enjoy them. They be doing flipping sentons on the outside, like their match versus the Tonga twins. Though it ended in some crazy shenanigans, it was really solid. Like you could tell they worked well together as a tag team. They do have that whole twin telepathy sort of thing.
That's a really
So do
good.
the Tonga twins as well. They have like this twin telepathy thing, and their heel work is just really good. Like I thoroughly enjoy them, and I thoroughly enjoy that entire stable. I feel like it gives you a little bit of everything. And it's really fun. Like their characters are just basically them being themselves, which to me always makes the best characters is when
Yeah.
you aren't making a departure from anything. You're just being you, and you add, like The Rock said, be yourself and turn it up to 10.
Period. Period.
Period.
We love the Rock over here. Okay, we love the Rock over here. But that twin telepathy thing is a real thing. Okay,
It
like
is, and I feel like you see it so much in wrestling. Like you see it so much. And
yeah.
like the Usos do it well, the Bella twins did it really well. And I think
Is that your baby?
it is. He's over here barking cuz he thinks I'm talking to somebody.
Listen, he could be a part. He could be a part.
No, literally, he just wants attention. He's like,
Oh,
"Show me attention too, please." No, he's good.
oh,
But yeah, I
baby.
think the twin thing. Come on, dude, you got to be quiet. Stop. The twin thing is just, I think, one of my favorite like concepts in wrestling because it oftentimes works well. And then whenever you're ready to split them up, there's always a story. Always a story.
Yeah, that's true.
Immediately, automatically. So I mean, siblings in general, but especially twins. It's just something
Especially
different about
twins.
it. So I mean, I enjoy them. They came in with a bang, and then to link up with Lana Star and the other
Who
two
also looks
girls.
like a pinup model.
Exactly, Lana Star's like
Rockstar
this.
is Barbie.
No, legit. And there is someone who is pretty much like a Barbie who we'll talk about soon too, who is pretty much like the Barbie of the group. But and then their whole thing is like pink, pink and black. Like I love it. And like you've got what I like and why I make the comparison to the stable being kind of like evolution plus a manager is that you've got two people to a tag team. You've got like a mid card. One day is going to be like a top build like superstar person, and then you've got the WoW Women's Champion as the like the leader of the stable, if you will, wrestler wise, and then it's all controlled by Lana Star. So I think it's like amazing. I love Lana Star in her pink cowboy hat and her cowboy boots, and it's very southern. And as a proud southerner, it makes me super
Mm,
happy. So it's like I get a piece of Miami with the twins. I get this hint of southernness with Lana, and then the other two girls I will talk about, like they just give me all like the ultra pink Barbie feels.
yeah, because Lana definitely gives Barbie. But you know
Yeah.
what's crazy? When I was watching it previously, is she didn't have a cowboy hat on, but I'm just like, yo, she can be like, you know who I would reference her to? Sable.
Yeah. Yes.
Like Sable and Lana are literally the carbon copy of each other. And recently I was on fan club and we were talking about comparisons and them not liking comparisons because I compared Tiffany Stratton to Nikki Bella. And we've had this conversation to where you was like you can kind of see where the comparison is. Because it's like like her in ring work are crazy. The attitude, like when Nikki Bella was on that longest deep reigning diva
Reigning Divas champion.
champion run, and she was real diva-ish, and she didn't give no f's, and she wanted things her way. You can see that in Tiffany Stratton. Now,
For sure.
however, being that Tiffany Stratton is being compared to Nikki Bella, and she's not even in her prime state yet. Like she's still
Yeah. Super
in like
young.
the very beginning, super young. Take that comparison and shoot for the stars, like I said previously, because Tiffany Stratton is very, very good at what she does.
I feel like I like comparisons because for me it gives like a baseline of what I can expect. Like if you were to tell me like, "Oh, you'll like Tiffany Stratton because you like Nikki Bella and she reminds me of Nikki Bella." I'm not thinking I'm about to see a carbon copy of Nikki, but I'm thinking like, "Okay, something's going to be there, the attitude or maybe she uses the rack attack or like it's going to give me just a baseline of what I can expect." And then on top of that, I'm like, "Okay, I can see the Nikki Bella hints. Now what is she doing to make this her own thing?" And I think that's kind of the best parts of wrestling is nothing. I think they say this now, nothing in wrestling now is original, everything is kind of recycled. So even if people are taking hints of Nikki Bella and making it their own like Tiffany Stratton is, what's wrong with that? I kind of like that. Like Nikki Bella was the Bella twins were the biggest thing in the company for a while, so big they got Total Divas and then Total Bellas off of it. So
Right.
what's
The
wrong with
wine.
creating, yeah, the wine stuff, the podcast? She like shit, Nikki Bella got a whole baby out this thing and a husband.
Sure
So
did something
like
that she was not about to get before.
okay, like
No shade to
she's
Nikki. No shade to Nikki.
all for going on Dancing with the Stars because she was so viable outside of just wrestling. She's got a husband and a baby now, which is dope. Like that's super cool. So I mean, I like comparisons as a fan, so that way I know when I'm going to watch someone, I know what to expect. Just like if you were to tell me, oh, if you watch Like, I'm trying to think of someone I don't like who gets a crazy comparison. Like if you were to say who's someone I really really rally against right now, I gotta think about it. I don't like a lot of people. Okay, like if you were to say, "Oh, this person reminds me of Logan Paul," and be like, "I'm not watching that shit." No, why? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. One Logan Paul is enough Logan Pauls.
That's true. And if too bad is two of them because his brother Jake.
No, legit. And I'm like, if I want to see another Logan Paul, I'm just gonna go watch
I'm
Jake.
just gonna go
But
watch Jake.
even like, even if we were talking about mic work and we're like, oh yeah, this dude is like Ricochet on the mic, I don't want to watch that. I don't. I was just like, cool. Thank you for telling me. I will skip every promo.
I will skip every last single one of them.
Let me know when the match comes on. But it's just like comparisons are good. That's why I'm like, let me see with especially with Schoolin and Wow, who is someone that I can be like, if you like this wrestler, if you like this wrestler, this is who you will get. So like
Right.
they do remind me of the Bella Twins, like in terms of the attitude, the way they can cut promos. Are they the most skilled people in the ring? No, but do they work hard and do like does the character work get them to where they need to be? Absolutely.
Yeah.
With the Carlson twins with Miami Sweet Heat. The attitude is all it is over there. Like it's just straight attitude. It's funny. They cheat, they lie, they manipulate to get what they want, to get out of things. And they got a badass manager who's willing to do anything to help them also. Like Lana Starr's just great. A great manager.
She is like from what I was watching, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like she literally looks like I had to like first of all, you know when they say cherries help you go to sleep. So I don't
Yeah.
know what told me to eat cherries or who told me to eat cherries before, and I'm staying up till 1 o'clock to watch it. So I'm watching fully, but I'm in and out of sleep. Like I'm dozing off, like I'm fighting sleep. And then I happen to look, and I'm just like, Sable went back to wrestling, and nobody said anything. But then they kept saying Lana Star, and I'm like, oh damn, they look just alike.
They really do. It is scary. But I want to say there's a couple of managers that are in WoW, but Lana's the best. Like she at first when they said Lana, I thought it was like WWE Lana. And I was like, wait. And then when I saw her, I was like, no, that looks like Sable. But her name's Lana. So I was just like, all
Like
right, let's
who
see.
is
But
this?
there's a they had the whole, and this is how I know this entire stable of the Fabulous Four is special. They had a whole segment dedicated to her announcing this Fabulous Four. And
Mm.
like back in December when she put it all together. And then she literally just ran amok after that. Like they just ran amok, collecting championships. And if they had a middle like a mid division championship, I'm sure Vicky Lynn McCoy would have that too, but they don't have a middle of the road championship type thing. So
At least not yet. We probably see later on down the
I
road.
could see it. You know, they just announced in August that they're doing live tapings, which is the first that they're doing those. So I think WoW's like on is honestly coming up like
As it
quickly.
should. We all love to see women wrestle. Like look at like I said, always
Exactly.
I will always press the fact like WWE dropped the ball when they didn't do another evolution.
I do think that, and and even I don't even think they do the Mae Young Classic anymore. I haven't
Um,
seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
S- s-
I don't know. I haven't. I feel like they did it last year, but then again, don't quote me because
Yeah, it just not as televised as it once was, even if or not televised, but advertised as it once was, like it was during the Revolution days. But I do think they dropped the ball by not doing another one. There's so many women, even in that respect, that like you don't even have to continue using Lita and Trish. Like that would have been perfect time. I don't know if Jacqueline's still wrestling, but like Jacqueline, I know they'll never bring back Jazz because of the class action lawsuit. But like you never say never in wrestling. Maybe they would have at some point. Jazz could have came back. You've got all these women who Victoria can still go to this day. Um,
hmm
seeing her get seeing her get her moment that she always deserved but never got just because of timing would have been dope because after she left WWE, she kind of dominated in TNA for a while, her and Gail Kim. And I know
yeah,
Gail ain't never coming back, but there's
Gail
so
staying
many
right behind
women.
the scenes.
Yeah. It's so many women that came up in the mid to late 2000s that could have had like a bigger moment. Even Molly Holly, I don't know if she would have wrestled again, but Molly Holly could did a little something, some
Yeah.
Serena Deeb,
hmm
like things like that. And then you could have brought in these women from WoW, done a sick partnership with them to introduce them to a larger audience. I mean,
And
the
that's more
real
money for Vince, but you know, with AJ Mendez being
yeah,
that's just like
on commentary, she's like an executive director and producer and all this stuff. And yeah, I don't think they vibing with AJ. Like I always say, they try to erase her from her portion in the revolution
They really did.
anyway.
Like they gave it all
So,
to Paige. No
and
shade.
without acknowledging who was across the ring every
Exactly.
single time, and I'm like, it's AJ. Oh my god,
Like say her name, okay? Say her name.
AJ and Emma.
Baby. Yup.
AJ and Emma, straight up, and Natalia. Like it really, it's the like. I'm not saying they're the four horsewomen, but those are the original four: AJ, Emma, Paige, and Natalia. Were like the four. They were the four. That was it. And but I do like the work she's doing in WoW. She's a good commentator. You could tell she's getting it
Mm-hmm.
together. She's working on it. But yeah, this stable here is easily the most exciting part, and I think it came together because they had to fill the void of the beast going away, because the beast, she does her dominant thing for 3 to 6 months, and then we don't see her for three
The
to six
beast is
months.
Brock Lesnar.
Straight up. She's the Brock Lesnar of WoW.
Oh,
She
wow, yeah.
comes, does her thing, moves on, comes back, does her thing, moves on, and it gives time for other people to shine. Her reign is going to be quick, dynamic, and explosive, but it's not going to end up like Roman Reigns where you're seriously questioning who's going to beat her.
Right. True.
It
True.
never ends up that way. So, and they do it in very crafty ways. She's dropped the title to people before, but she's also just like vacated it before and faked an injury. So they come up with different ways to get the title off of her to allow other people to really, really shine. And that's what I really appreciate about WoW is like they're not trying to let one person run the entire promotion or anything, even though they definitely have their definitive stars of the promotion. They want to kind of spread the wealth. Even in the tag division, I really like that they have so many very much established tag teams. Like there ain't no, okay, you two look cute in a photo, y'all team up. Like
Right.
no, it's like you got the Carlson twins, you got the Tonga twins, you've got Mother Truckers, you got GI Jane and the Disciplinarian. Like you have these set pieces of tag teams for now, and there's no saying that they wouldn't be able to break out into singles competition. They can, but being able to put them into um like a situation where they can thrive in a tag team first, and that's how they came up learning how to wrestle as tag team first and then break off into singles. I like that method. I think it's a good method to instill and teach. So
I feel like, I mean, I guess the method would be good for whoever it works for. Because remember, Trinity and Arion started as a tag team. They went
yep,
solo and was horrible.
that's
Like they were
true.
not comfortable apart from each other. They had to get comfortable, especially after Arion left and it was only Trinity
Trend.
there. Then she had to get comfortable and be her own skin. But them being together for so long, it was easy for them to rely on one another.
Yeah. And I think I haven't seen a breakup yet since I've been watching. I haven't seen like a prominent tag team breakup, but I do think that they will do it in a way that makes sure both people come out well on the other side.
Yeah.
Especially like I want to see that with GI Jane and the Disciplinarian, because I do think they have to break up at some point. They came in as singles competitors. Why keep them together? But I will say a lot of the tag teams do work single matches too. So they already kind of get comfortable with it.
Okay.
So it's not just like tag, 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 tag. You might see like how they always used to do, like, oh, if we have a big match at this big blow off pay per view as a tag team, you face one opponent, I'll face the other in a singles match type thing before we all mix it up together. So they do that a lot too, which I appreciate and like.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate you for explaining that to me. But when I was watching, wow, the whole card was tag team matches. The
They put an
entire
emphasis on
card.
it. Yeah. They put an emphasis on it. Like they very much support tag teams over there. And I think it's good because, to be honest, who's doing it well? Who's doing women's tag team well? It's a gap. It's a gap.
It is a gap. Out when I was also watching, I came across. I don't know if they're a tag team, but Exile or
They're new. They are a tag team or like
a
a beginning of a
faction,
faction coming together type thing. So
and they are bad. Like every woman that I've seen in WoW is gorgeous.
true.
Like there's not one I'm just be like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Everyone is gorgeous. Like it was ice cold. It was. Don't give me a lie. I don't know. I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Their roster's expanding quickly, and like at this point I'm like, okay, is this someone just coming in to do a match, or is this like a roster expansion? Like, what is I have to go and look so often to be like, what's the actual roster right now?
Right.
And I don't think Exile, unless they just got put on there within the last couple of days, I don't think they were on the roster until a few days ago.
Yeah, probably because I'm seeing all these people, and you turn to wrestling for the first time. You're thinking that these people are brand new, and then they've been there for years. They come back from injury. They step away to better themselves, and then come
Mhm.
back. So it's just like I'm coming and learning. I'm like, okay, is this faction? Like, I really like them. Like, they were really really good in the ring, and I love their vignettes to their intro. Like,
Me
it's just
too.
like something out of a video game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so dope. Like when they're introducing, like when the ring announcers introducing them, and you see like it's so hard to explain, but it's such a dope thing to see.
It's super unique because it's like a you actually think it's them standing there posing for the match, but
And
it's a
they're not.
cutaway
Yes.
of them in a backstage area or something, just shooting this dynamic shot of them being around or next to each other or whatever. And it's a really cool thing, like almost like a loading screen on a video game where like
Yeah.
everyone does the little poses and that's what's next. And I always say that's the thing I miss about WWE was when they would do the moving animations when you would have the match cards
I
and like
promise
everybody would
you.
like turn and like look at the camera and like and then free. That was my favorite thing in the world.
Yo, when they brought that back for like that one promotion over that little bit of
Yes.
time, I promise you, I popped so hard. I was like, oh my god, they got the moving cards back. But that's something only an Attitude Era kid would know, or like
It was
because
legit.
they didn't have that. Like, I remember vividly, and Brian's probably gonna love me for this, when it was doing the WrestleMania was 17 or
Yeah.
18 with
Yeah.
Hogan and Rock, and he had
18.
the move 18. They had the moving car. I'm like, oh my gosh! And then when they brought that back, and I saw them moving, I said, who in the animation truck? Because I need to give them a raise because
No, legit.
we love this.
It's small things like that that like well, that can change how the product is received, and I think WoW doing that and giving us, like, a moving animation while they're being introed is super dope. Like, I think it's unique, and it's different week to week, so they're doing these fresh on the spot.
Yeah.
It's not recycled usually, so I like that, and it goes with whatever outfit they're wearing and all this stuff, so I'm a big fan of the moving intro cards and, like, the way that WoW's integrating it into their announcement, but also their ring announcer is dope as hell too. I don't like she be having these like Dragon Ball Z ass outfits on
Yeah,
every
she had like
week.
this orange and red one on with the shoulders looking really, really high and pointed. And I love like she speaks, and then when they say one fall, she puts the microphone to the
Like
crowd, let them
and
say
they
one
all say
fall.
one fall. It's
It's so
such
dope.
yeah. And I love how like interactive the crowd really is with everything going on. Like you hear the cheers, you hear the boos, there's nothing really piped in. Um Like, it just feels like they may be in a smaller arena, but it's very loud in there when you go. Like, it feels loud. Like, whoever's there really wants to support women's wrestling, and that's the cool part about it. Like, everyone there is there for a specific reason and to support these women, and that's what makes it fun. Like, no people there might be casual watchers, but odds are they're there to support women's wrestling specifically, and I love that.
And I love how there's so many kids there. Like the kids literally interact with these wrestlers. Like when
Mhm.
Miami Sweet Heat came on, they were booing and they just, flipping their hair, not caring about what they're saying or whatever the kids would be like that. It was just a joyful experience to see the kids. Like they're not all scattered about the arena where you gotta like play needle in the haystack to find a child to put on your camera. Like they're all right there. They're all lined up front row. They all have their little clappers and things of that nature.
Mhm.
And it's fun to see these wrestlers interact with these kids the way that they do. But going back to Miami Sweet Heat as a tag team, and they're the current tag team champions. I can't say women's tag team champions because they're all women. Um, Tag team champions of WoW. Who do you want to see overtake them or like take their belts?
I think they have a lot of unfinished business with the Tonga twins, and that's who I want to see. The last match they had against each other, one of the members of the Fabulous Four came in and interrupted and speared one of the Tonga twins, and it ended in a DQ because the twins were in trouble. So I'm like, I kind of want them to have a rematch, and obviously there needs to be like no interruption in the match.
Right.
I don't know if it's possible to have a cage match, but if they can, they should.
Or
because
let
I
them have
think,
a no DQ. Whoever
yeah,
interrupts. But you know, the Tonga twins, they're Samoans, so like they're gonna have all 50-11 of their cousins from the
exactly.
knockout
That's what I'm
come into the
saying.
ring.
I think that matchup is just a special one. They all work really well together in the ring, and they do, like I said, that match started off with like the Miami Sweet Heat attacking them from the crowd. Like they didn't even walk down the ramp; they came out the crowd and attacked them, and they hit them with these like senton flips off the apron immediately. Like it was wild. It was a good time, and it was like different. So I'm like, oh yeah, y'all gotta up the ante whenever y'all meet again, and I know they will. So I'm hoping that's what it is. Like I'm hoping it's the Tonga twin. It's like twin versus twin.
True. Oh
What
yeah.
better
What
way?
better way to do it? Twin versus twin.
Yeah.
I didn't
And
think about it that way.
I like the Tonga twins names. Kona and Crush is hilarious because there was a wrestler in WWE called Kona Crush. So
Mhm.
like to have twins now, one's named Kona and one's named Crush
It's
is
hilarious.
hilarious.
It's
So
hilarious. I just love that. I really do love that. And um, before we wrap up this episode of Miami Sweet Heat, do you think that they will go on to be like the longest reigning women's tag team champions of a while before they drop to Tonga Twins or whoever they drop it to?
I think they should, and I think they will because there's strength in numbers. I mean, I feel like it feels not. It doesn't feel like the Bloodline storyline, but you see like interruptions, DQs, like saving their bags, things like that. They're so heavily protected by this faction. Why not? Like
Yeah,
it makes sense for them because it's like, yeah, of course they're not going to lose when every time they're up for a title, somebody comes in and gets a DQ and they don't titles don't change hands on a DQ. So why not? I think they should. And I think it'll be like a fun moment in WoW history for them to hold it that long. And like the reason why is because of this really dope faction that puts like Barbie and Pink at the forefront. Like something so girly in a sport that's usually dominated by men. It's kind of cool.
I love to see it. I love to see it. Well, this was a fun episode about Miami Sweet Heat. If you guys have not watched any of their matches, please make sure you go to the YouTube page, the WoW YouTube page, watch their matches. They are amazing. They are awesome. And you know, we love pink over here. Pink is my favorite color, clearly and truly. Okay. Um, but yeah, please make sure you tune into WoW. Please make sure you're subscribed to our Patreon to know when this episode drops. We're not even going to tell y'all just better subscribe and get that notification because these are some really, really dope episodes. And I'm really excited for this one. I'm excited for the next one that we have going on. And I just can't wait. Pablo, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yo, all right. You can find me on TikTok at Pablo The Don, all one word. You can find me on Threads, Instagram, and Twitch at Pablo T Don. And yeah, I just be out here. And then you can find me every second Thursday of the month right here with those wrestling girls for Thirsty Thursdays.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, you can find me. It's your girl, Miss Krista B, MS underscore KRISTAB underscore on Instagram and MS underscore KRISTAB on Twitter. Make sure you follow my better half, my other half, Queen PR. That's Queen three underscores PR on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to our Patreon, our YouTube, our Twitch. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for all of your latest news. Like I said, we definitely was at BlurredCon a few weeks ago. It was fun, so please make sure if you haven't checked it out, check that out. Also, check out our interview we did with the great Andreas Hale. He's amazing. If you know who he is a legend in sport and combat sports world. He's a legendary journalist, and he's just here to bring us all together as one big family should be brought together. Okay. And on that note, it's your girl Krista B with Pablo The Don. We'll see you guys next time. Later.
See ya.